The first guest we have on is this NFL player won 2 Super Bowls playing with the Broncos and was a 4-time Pro Bowler and was an All-Pro player with the Denver Broncos. Introducing first, the great Trevor Pryce. What's going on, Trevor?
What's up, Bob? How are you, sir?
I am good, my friend. How are you? How is everything going right now with your family, with the whole coronavirus? This has been a crazy epidemic. So what's going on with you and your family?
Nothing really. I mean, this is our new reality. Like everybody else, we were sheltered in place. Well, we try to get outside a little bit, enjoy some air. I truly believe exercising and kind of getting some normalcy helps a little bit. You know what I mean?
I got you, man.
If you're stuck inside the entire time, that's tough.
How many kids do you have, Trevor?
We try to. 3. We have 3. I have 1 in college, 1 that's about to graduate and go to college, and 1 about to go in 9th grade.
Where do they go to school? The one who goes to college.
The oldest one goes to Cornell University. Mm-hmm. It was an Ivy League school, so that's pretty good.
Nice.
The one that's going to college is going to play soccer at University of Washington. Mm-hmm. And my son goes to private school in Maryland called McDonough.
Very, very nice. Well, Trevor, 1997 was your first year in the NFL. You were drafted by the Denver Broncos, and you came to a team that had arguably 2 of the biggest superstars in the league at the time, Terrell Davis and the great John Elway. What were your thoughts coming to that team and that organization with 2 of the great players in the NFL?
It was weird. I didn't really think about it. I just knew when I showed up, everybody was old. You know what I mean? The Broncos were a very, very old team when I got there, very veteran team. I think my draft class had 3 picks. We had 2 picks and like some free agents, so it was literally a very old team. I think the average age was 31 or something like that. It was pretty. Besides Terrell, everybody was kind of, John Elway's age. Up into Lemon Road. And it was just a weird thing. I walked in, I was like, Jesus, these are like real grown. They think, NFL's grown men. They meant it. These are grown effing men. That was interesting. So that was the only thing I didn't really. That part was not a part of my thinking at all. It was just like, okay, everybody's as big as I am. That's interesting. And everybody's like, how do these old men run? You know what I mean? That's the first thing I remember. Like you are way too old to be out here running on routes, but they could. But the first year was weird like that. It took me a long time to get to it. My second year, I became that dude.
You took off, and that's what I want to get into. Your second, third, and fourth year of your career was really the years that really changed you as a player and your development under Mike Shanahan. What are your thoughts to Mike Shanahan, being under a great coach, one of arguably the greatest coaches of the 90s? What were your thoughts of going to a team with one of the greatest coaches in the NFL?
Again, back then it was no thought. It was just survival. You know what I mean? It's because again, we were an old team, and so you kind of just, whatever the guy in front of you did, if God isn't around you did, you did. And I got old really fast after I was 20 when I was drafted, and all of a sudden you just find yourself in this weird situation. You're like, what is this, man? And so Mike was, because I didn't know any better. Mike had a certain way of doing things, and it was the first time you called a coach by his first name and that type of thing. There was no way that it had been done before that I know of. I mean, the internet wasn't really a thing back then, so you couldn't look it up and say, oh, let me watch clips of this guy. When he drafted me, that was the first time I saw him or met him or knew anything about him when he called me. So, that was life.
Trevor, you mentioned Mike Shanahan, and you mentioned that the team was older when you first got there, and obviously you started your prime of your career kind of 99. You're 4 straight Pro Bowls after that. Do you think having that kind of older veteran type team around you, did that really help you right away grow into instant impact player as it was, and helped your development as a whole? Even though, again, most of the stars on that team, yeah, good.
No, it did a lot because you didn't. When in my rookie, I didn't have to come help. I didn't play the first 8 games. I didn't even dress. So you didn't need to be. They didn't need me to play right away. You know what I mean? And not like the guys in front of me were better. They were just more ready. They were just ready to play, and I just wasn't ready to play. And then they traded Michael Dean Perry away. They were like, "You got to play now." And I wound up starting some games, played really well. But time is important for professional athletes, whether or not they're in football, soccer, baseball. It just takes time, and sometimes that time is taken when you're 12, right? And sometimes that time is taken when you're 22. You just don't know when it's going to hit, but there is certain things you can look at a kid. When you look at a girl play soccer, you're like, oh, she'll play the national team. She'll be in the national team pool. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So, that's what it was. Everybody knew I was going to be good, but it was a when. You know what I mean? When was he ready? And I was kind of ready as a rookie, but you start making mistakes, and then what happens is the games start to mean more as you get into playoffs and that type of thing. And when you have a team where everybody's 29, 32 years old, you're not putting a 21-year-old in. And I'm like, is this football? No, it's a little bit more than that. Because the game did pick up and everything got fast. And I was living. Every day was a blur after a while,
We are talking to ex-NFL superstar, 4-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro player, and a 2-time Super Bowl champion, Trevor Pryce. Trevor, 1999 was your best year as an NFL player. Could you explain the growth?
It was not actually.
Oh, it wasn't? Really? Was it with the Ravens?
2007 with the Ravens.
2006, 2007. I see it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, All right. So, as far as what the NFL explains to what we see as numbers, your numbers show that 2006, 2007 was your better year, but you became an All-Pro player in '99. What was your thoughts of that year of '99 as you grew into that type of player?
Oh, we were really bad. John had retired and Terrell got hurt. And it was kind of like, there's 2 ways to become a great NFL player, to become a great NFL defensive player. One way, you have to have a bad offense. So that means you play a lot. The other way is don't come off the field. And I got really good from the former, not the latter. You know what I mean? So you watch Aaron Donald and J.J. Watt and those guys, yeah, they can get 20 sacks, but they don't take any play off. And I don't mean rest. I mean, they don't come off the field. The defense is out there, they stay out there the entire time. And I don't understand that. I'm just like, how do you give 100% effort if you are playing the entire, you can't, that's like running full speed for a mile. You can't do that. You know what I mean? That's why you seeing players where Aaron Donald gets washed or he's standing there because he's tired. But he has to play the numbers and saying, if I get all 100 snaps, I'm going to get 2 sacks, right? So that's how the game works. And I was just like, I can't do that. I can't, I have to live and die by this moment, not by the entire moment. So I got really good because we were bad and we were out there a lot. You know what I mean? And teams aren't passing on us a whole lot. It was also somewhat of happenstance that we had some players that they would at first kind of lock in on a little bit. You know what I mean? We had John Mobley and people that deal with him. But we had a defensive line coach that believed in pass rushing. And he was like, first you see a hat go high, go. So I just started making up stuff. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how that happened. And it was a different time. I wish I'd have played in today's NFL, whereas it's past 100% of the time. and Aaron Donald he's an incredible athlete and a good football and a great football player. But, you know, I know his defense. The guy that drafted him I know pretty well. His name is Mike Waffle. And Mike Waffle was a Navy guy, very buzz cut, tall, no nonsense. And then he just saw Aaron Donald and said, look, when I coach, I'm talking to everybody but you. You just pick away and go. And so when he does that, when Aaron Donald gets his right, he's defensive player of the year. When he gets his wrong, they lose. But you have to be able to live. You have to have a defensive coordinator like a Wade Phillips that says, I can live with that. I can live with you getting washed and us giving up 30 yards if you get 5 TFLs a game. We can just live with that. We just live with that. Yeah, that's what. And so my son played second-year tackle football for his school, and I told the coaches put him at nose guard. I said I've taught Trevor how to jump either side of center, and he's just going to guess. And when he gets right, it was a hell to pay. And he gets wrong with the touchdown, and that's just the way it is, man. That's today's NFL. So anyway, some of that kind of happened, and I started stepping into a, not a leadership role, but started to assert myself. I'm like, I ain't doing that kind of thing. All right, I'm doing this. I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm doing this kind of thing. And lo and behold, I became All-Pro.
2006, you went to the Baltimore Ravens, and you got to play with some of the best really named defensive players that we've seen in the last 25 years, and guys like Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. What are your thoughts when you went to Baltimore, going to a great defensive team with great defensive minds? You had Rex Ryan there. You had so many great, really defensive minds over there with that organization. What was your thoughts with the organization going over there to Baltimore?
I didn't know much about it. I didn't know much about this part of the country. I still live here now, so that means I liked it a lot. I liked the people that ran the organization. They ran it a little differently. I think what happened with Denver is when we stopped winning Super Bowls, Mike Shanahan changed a lot, and he kind of felt that pressure to kind of prove himself, kind of thing, without John Elway, and could he do it with Brian Greasy, and we just didn't get it done. That kind of thing. But, the Ravens, it was a different conference, different part of the world. It felt like going to Mars. It felt like I was going to it. I was just like, wow, this is all very, very new. And you get ingrained in it very quickly, and you see how different organizations are run. They're not all run the same. They are all run a little differently. And that's what I learned. So I've been with one organization for 10 years. So it was kind of a culture shock.
Trevor, you played under many different coaches. Obviously, we were talking about Shanahan earlier, but then you had 2 in Baltimore. You had the last 2 years of Brian Billick, and then you had 2 years with John Harbaugh. Who was the toughest coach among those to play under, and who was your favorite coach to play under, or even a defensive coach that maybe a lot of people don't give the recognition to?
The physically toughest was by far Brian Billick, because his practices were long and grinding and lots of changing of periods and running around. He'd run 5 plays there and run 5 plays there, but he gave you a lot of time off after that. So his practices were, he would call it Camp Cupcake. I was like, I've never seen a cupcake like this.
Camp Cupcake.
This is tough. That's what they called it. I was like, what? I was like, who? I remember that.
You sure Rex didn't give it that name?
I don't know who gave him that name. But I was like, and I remember somebody else said that too. It's like, I went to practice. Like, we never tackled at Denver. We never tackled. Like, we had one full live period every camp, and that was goal line. That was at one time you got to hit and take people to the ground when we did goal line. But when I got to Baltimore, they were like, live. I was like, wait, what? And I saw Ed Reed hit Todd Heap in his knee, full speed. And I went, what planet is this? So the physically easiest was John Harbaugh by far and away. Because we had parts of practice we wouldn't even practice. We'd walk, they call it a Wednesday walkthrough. We'd walk through on Wednesdays, the whole practice. But the most fun, I think, was different parts of the different teams, same people in different years. Like when you're winning, it's fun. losing sucks. So that's easy enough.